It was just recently that Caitlin Clark made her debut in Europe, and fans all over the world are going absolutely crazy. As soon as she stepped foot on the court, the situation became completely chaotic. The arena was filled with an energy that is rarely seen in women's basketball, and fans chanted her name as if she were a rock star. Fans of the WNBA are astonished by the outpouring of support she is receiving in Europe, and this spectacle is sending shockwaves back to them. Clark's presence in Europe is making history and establishing a new standard for what women's basketball can be on the international stage. This is not just another game, you are witnessing history being made.
Caitlin Clark is going overseas to play in the European League. I'm here to let everybody know that she should. WNBA is the most ghetto-ish. Dysfunction is real. Whoever's in charge of the WNBA League is to be fired, terminated, expeditiously.
It is true that she did, and the fact that she made this choice has only served to amplify the impact of her debut in Europe. At the same time that she is lighting up the courts in Europe, the WNBA is struggling to generate the same level of excitement and is dealing with a decline in attendance. Consider the following scenario. A stadium in Barcelona is completely full of people, and they are chanting, "We want Caitlin." It is impossible to find anything that can compare to the electric atmosphere that the WNBA is experiencing right now. The new European team that Clark signed was well aware of what they were doing when they did so, as they were utilizing her image everywhere in order to generate excitement. And the fans are coming out in droves, and they are absolutely adoring every single second of her first season in Europe. While she is enthusiastically embracing this new challenge, it is evident that she is quickly adjusting to the European style of play. However, the departure of Clark is a significant blow that is difficult to ignore for the WNBA.
Now keep in mind, the female Suns were averaging close to 2 million viewers when they were playing against Caitlin Clark. Since Caitlin Clark was eliminated from the playoffs, WNBA ratings had declined 50%. They have lost half of their audience in less than a week, and it's only going to get worse from here.
A harsh reality is revealed by the numbers, which tell the story. Despite the fact that Clark's games in Europe are completely sold out, some WNBA arenas are having trouble filling even half of their seats. As a result of Clark's departure, the ratings of the WNBA have dropped by a staggering 50%. She is not merely another player, rather, she is a phenomenon that has attracted fans and kept their attention throughout the game.
This is her first playoff game, her debut, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun, raking in 1.84 million viewers. Game 2, this was an elimination game, so season on the line here, raking in even more viewers, 2.54 million viewers. Now, let's take those numbers, 1.84, 2.54 million, and compare them to the first weekend of playoff action without Caitlin Clark in the mix. Two of the premier teams in the league, defending champions on the floor, drew an audience of 929,000, according to ESPN. That is 50% less than the Fever's Game 1 against the Sun, and even less than the Fever's Game 2 against the Sun.
One thing is abundantly clear. Clark's star power was a significant draw for the WNBA. Since she left, the league's viewership has experienced a precipitous drop, revealing a problem that had been developing for a considerable amount of time before she left. Where did things go from being so bad?
Just another example about how people have fumbled the gift that is Caitlin Clark.
There was no one else who could match Clark's ability to attract fans, even casual viewers. In the absence of her, the WNBA is in a state of disarray. Now her games are bringing excitement all the way across the ocean, while the WNBA is struggling to maintain its relevance and is relegated to less prominent broadcasts.
It's about to get a lot worse. Last night, both games were broadcast on ESPN2. Games broadcast on ESPN2 significantly lower than games broadcast on ESPN or ABC. And that's true for all leagues, not just the WNBA.
Aside from providing Clark with an incredible platform, European leagues have also provided her with financial incentives that are comparable to, if not even surpass, those offered by the WNBA. The WNBA is experiencing an unexpected brain drain as players consider their options. There is a possibility that the league will lose more stars to packed arenas in other countries if Clark's success in Europe becomes a trend.
There could be a world where more of these private-owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas.
With Clark's growing influence in Europe, the Women's National Basketball Association's WNBA struggles with marketing and exposure are becoming painfully obvious. The league is struggling to break the cycle of low attendance and fewer primetime broadcasts, which further complicates the problem. This is because the league does not have players like her to drive viewership. There is no denying the impact that Clark's absence has had. As a result of the fact that fans who had previously tuned in for her are now tuning out, the league is scrambling to find a new draw.
The ABC matchup drew 929,000 viewers, which is a good number for the WNBA. However, that was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever contest. The Sun in the leagues drew just more than 650,000. Good Lord.
The WNBA executives are in a state of crisis as a result of the dramatic drop in viewership. They are confronted with a challenging question. How can they maintain the interest of their fans when Caitlin Clark is not on the roster? It is a critical crossroads for the WNBA as attendance is decreasing, ratings are falling, and competition from European leagues is growing.
Apparently, they don't know how to handle business. Caitlin Clark single-handedly brought in a whole and no, it ain't because of Angel Reese.
Getting people to sit in the seats is not the only thing at stake. This viewership crisis has an effect on everything, including contractual agreements for television and sponsorship deals. Fans are witnessing what happens when a star like Clark leaves the league, and as a result, the entire business model of the WNBA is being called into question.
Tickets were going for around $100. Now, for any other major sporting event, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL maybe, $100 tickets, that would be considered a bargain. Hell, in most cases, $100 tickets do not exist. The most expensive seats to see Caitlin Clark were selling for over $4,000. When she played Angel Reese in the regular season, average ticket was selling for $300. Normally, the Chicago Bravado, they'll let you in for free to see Angel Reese.
While this is going on, Clark's games are doing exceptionally well in Europe, both in terms of ticket sales and merchandise buzz. Just how much of an impact she is having on the European League is demonstrated by the fact that fans are willing to pay top dollar to experience her play. Fans and the media alike are scurrying to keep up with her because she is not only playing basketball, but also creating a movement that is quickly gaining momentum. Businesses, restaurants, and other local establishments are all feeling the impact of her games, which have evolved into an event in their own right. The cities come to life whenever Caitlin Clark is performing.
When you look at the numbers with Caitlin Clark there, her first playoff game, drawing 1.84 million viewers. Ridiculous numbers. The highest rated playoff game since Game 2 of the 2000 WNBA Finals. This wasn't even just an opening round game back in 2000. This was one of the finals games. So this clearly is showing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark is having. A total of 22 WNBA games clocked north of 1 million viewers. That surpassed the standing record of 15 games set in 1998.
By doubling ticket sales and generating a frenzy around her jersey, Clark's ability to attract fans was a game changer for the WNBA. Fans are clamoring for Clark merchandise and the excitement of watching her perform live, and Europe is now experiencing the same effect as the United States.
In my year time of being here, this is the first thing we've sold, really, besides like Hawkeye. We sold out of like her "You Break It, You Own It" shirt in like just a few days' time.
The arena is not the only place where Clark is popular. During game days, businesses in the vicinity of the stadium are experiencing booms as a result of the eagerness of fans to participate in the Clark effect. Not only does she play basketball, but she also brings energy to every city that she plays in, demonstrating that she is a cultural force that is not just playing basketball.
maybe, if not over halfway through her WNBA career by the time that this contract is up, and then renegotiating that and trying to get more at that point in her career. Like, this was the buzz that you should have capitalized on.
Because of Caitlin's decision, the WNBA has been forced to examine its organizational structure and question whether or not it is able to provide the same level of support and incentives as Europe. It is possible that the world of women's basketball will be reshaped if more stars follow in her footsteps. At the moment, Clark's action marks a significant turning point, one that has the potential to reimagine the landscape of women's professional basketball all over the world. At the end of the day, Clark is more than just an athlete. She is a force for transformation, igniting a new era in the world of sports.